Thanks for joining me, Greg and Matt. Hey, there's a lot going on in autonomous mobile robots. They're proliferating and expanding. Greg, can you tell me some of the factors that you think are behind this growth?
I think a lot of it has to do with labor shortages, labor costs, and really eliminating the manual process of the human element within the warehouse setting.
Matt, could you share some of the influences that you think are causing this?
Sure, I think there's, as always, the overall goal to find efficiencies and reduce costs that Greg is talking about, and I think these technologies are allowing us to do that. In addition to that, I think we've had the impact of the overall labor shortage as well as the COVID aspect, which has created needs that we haven't seen in the past and really expanded this online retail space really
Amazon,
considerably.
right? We're all shopping on Amazon.
100%, and that's really what's been driving a lot of this, and really taken what was a smaller warehouse sort of setting where you were just holding product and making it a distribution center, and you're seeing these pop up around the country. So the more and more of these that get added from these major retail places, or even a place like Mauser, that's how it's really going to drive this industry.
Gentlemen, I want to ask you, we're talking about autonomous mobile robots. They got to be able to see their way around. They got to be able to know where they are, to have this spatial awareness. Could you talk to me a little bit about what type of solutions that you have that gives this spatial awareness that helps make that all a reality?
Yeah, so a lot of cases we're providing solutions that are connecting to different, what we call general purpose I/O, which in a lot of cases are peripherals or sensors or camera systems that basically allow you to be able to see where in the warehouse setting that you're moving around and different interactions with other robots, and really be able to show the versatility of the system itself.
Matt, if you would, I want to go back to this IIoT and this wireless communication. Can you lay out for our viewers what are some of the common technologies being employed, and why would people use that in the industrial setting, and how those come to play with AMRs?
Sure, absolutely. I think in a lot of cases we're adapting existing technologies that we know work. Certainly there's been the ruggedization and miniaturization overall, but if you really look at the overall ecosystem, we're selling everything from the standard AMC board connector, which is an ultra miniature connector, all the way through the micro connector up to a traditional I/O, whether it be an SMA or a TNC or anything along those lines. So as this IoT space comes to fruition, it really is adopting current technologies and applying it where it makes sense.
So some current technologies are things like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and 5G.
Yeah.
Could you share a little bit about some of those specifics and where you see
Sure.
them?
There's what you just talked about, right? And then in addition to that, you've got the GPS aspect, you've got the visualization aspect. We've had applications where they actually use it as a camera. So for example, a forklift driver could lift up to a top shelf and he's able to see on his heads-up display what he's looking at. So those sorts of situations and those sorts of products have really come to fruition. And then there's been some other developments. For example, we actually manufacture camera backs, which is something we've never did before, where the customer has the camera, we'll manufacture the camera back itself that has the RF connector built into it, so then they can just connect in and go from there.
So we've mentioned this camera and the spatial awareness, LiDAR and things of that sort. Talk to me about latency and about data rates and speeds that are involved with this. What are you guys doing there?
Sure, I think that's something that's going to become a bigger and bigger part of this. And certainly as 5G rolls out, it's going to enable quite a lot of this. So the overall frequencies of the connectors themselves are really being pushed to the limit. So a lot of our our camera connectors rather, are being pushed to get to like 20 gigabit per second. So very high definition, very high data rates to be able to do it, because from a safety perspective, latency can't work. And then certainly, as we talked about, you've got these orchestrated robots moving by each other. The timing of that is important. So if one is off kilter with the rest, you could have a collision or something of the sort.